Hello everyone, and welcome to another book review. It's been a while, I know, I haven't had a lot of time to read since I started my new job, but I finally actually finished a book I got for Christmas, and I have been really excited to review it for you because I have some really cool thoughts on it. And the book I am reviewing, as you can tell by the title, would be George R. R. Martin's A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Now, most of you probably know this name. Obviously wrote Game of Thrones. I've read every Game of Thrones book so far. Come on, book 6. George R. R. Martin, get on that. Anyway, this is a book that came out late last year by the same author, and it takes place in the world of Game of Thrones. However, it takes place 100 years before any of the storyline from Game of Thrones does. So none of your favorite characters from Game of Thrones are going to make an appearance. They all haven't been born yet. And this book is about two very unusual companions, a knight and his squire, who travel around the land, just kind of doing whatever they need to do to get along and get by. And the squire particularly is of an interesting identity, but I won't give you any spoilers, so you can go out and read the book for yourself and find out. But I did think this was rather interesting. Now, the book is broken up into 3 parts, and each part is kind of a little story about these two characters. The first story being how they met and how they, came to travel together, and the other 2 simply being stories of their adventures once they're traveling together. So it is very different than Game of Thrones itself. Now, I don't know if that's similar to George R. R. Martin's other books, as Game of Thrones is the only series by him I've actually read in the past. But that is how this book is comprised. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. What was nice is it was getting into the Game of Thrones universe without needing to subject yourself to 1,000 pages. This book is pretty short compared to Game of Thrones, and it is also illustrated, as you can see here. It's an illustrated book, so it's 350 pages long, I think, something like that. Yeah, just about 350 pages. And there's a lot of pictures in it, so it's not even that long. I think most people could get through this book if they like this kind of style of writing. Now, it's very descriptive. Sometimes you even get more description than maybe you were hoping for. But that's just how George R. R. Martin writes. That's how his Game of Thrones books are so long. And he has said in the acknowledgments and whatnot in the back of the book that there will be sequels, which I'm excited for because it means that we get to hear more about these guys' amazing adventures. But the book itself is really wonderfully written. I guess George just doesn't want to write the 6th Game of Thrones book, so he's writing these. I don't know. He seems to be avoiding that. But it's kind of a whatever thing. I would very much recommend this book to anyone who likes Game of Thrones, to anyone who likes fantasy novels, to anyone that likes shorter stories, because it really is broken up into 3 short stories simply containing the same main characters. So while they are tied together by the characters, they're not really tied together in that they affect each other too much. They affect each other a little bit, but not a lot. But don't read this book expecting to find, your Cersei Lannister. She's not in there. Tyrion's not in there. None of the Starks are in there. Some of the family names are all mentioned because obviously they go back this far, but it does take place 100 years before. I thought it was kind of interesting because it was kind of getting a look into a history book from the Game of Thrones universe, which is really interesting to me. I like, when a world is that deep and complex as the one of Game of Thrones is, it's kind of cool to look at what it was like before all the story happened. Because to make it realistic, you need to make your reader believe that there's a before and there will assumingly be an after. You want it to seem real. So I think this book actually really helps solidify that there was a before the Game of Thrones started, and it's already here. But overall, I would give this book a 9 out of 10. It's really good. I enjoyed reading it despite the fact that I needed a couple of months to finish it just due to time constraints. I love the illustrations. They're beautiful. I don't know if there's a non-illustrated version of this book. This is the illustrated version if there is a non-illustrated version. But I got it for Christmas, so I didn't buy it personally. But yeah, so there you go. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, 9 out of 10, Peggy Sis review. And that's going to do it for this book review. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the subscribe button. And as always, I'm the Purple Peggy Sis, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.